now for wrestling. Let's go to it.
Looking for a new home? Make home happen by getting pre-qualified for free with Sean Carlson at Town & Country Credit Union. He'll help you find the best mortgage options for you and keep the process running smoothly from beginning to end. With a 97% satisfaction rate, awesome rewards, low fees, and great rates, it's clear why members love Town & Country Credit Union. Stop in or visit townandcountry.org to find out how you can become a Town & Country member today. Insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Lender. Van Dam Chiropractic is dedicated to helping you achieve your health goals and improving your quality of life. Dr. Van Dam provides the most comprehensive chiropractic and acupuncture care. Whether you're recovering from a sports injury, work-related injury, car accident, or just getting relief from chronic pain, Dr. Scott Van Dam will get you back on the road to good health. They look forward to serving you at Van Dam Chiropractic. Call them at 532-5320 or visit them online at vandamchiropractic.com.
Here on KNOX and on Magnitude Sports in Fargo. Ryan Cunningham with you here this evening as we get set for the front end of a triangular this afternoon between Grand Forks Central and Fargo Davies. Fargo Davies with 10 ranked wrestlers in the top 4 in the North Dakota Eastern Dakota Conference rankings. Grand Forks Central with 3. Davies will be the favored team this afternoon here in Fargo. Fargo North will be a part of this triangular as well, thus the matchup taking place here at Fargo North, and it's the start of a sports-heavy day for us on KNOX. We'll tell you more about that. We're going to have one additional addition to the schedule coming up later, and we'll tell you about that as the captains meet right now, and we get set for the start of high school wrestling. The lineups are still to be 100% determined, but we have a fairly good idea of what those lineups are going to look like, and we'll take you through those lineups, brought to you by Chris Moen of Nodak Insurance, coming up in just a couple of moments. We are going to take one quick pause and then get ready for what we have coming up with our varsity matchup. So Grand Forks Central, Fargo Davies, high school wrestling next on KNOX and the Franson Bank and Trust New Vision Truck Accessory Sports Network and on Magnitude Sports.
Hi, it's Dr. Tiffany Johnson from Healing Touch Chiropractic in West Fargo.
What impact I want to make, how my office is different, how my niche is different. It is all about giving people hope and helping them believe that their bodies were made to heal.
Let me show you how your life can change through chiropractic at Healing Touch Chiropractic.
Whether you are looking to refinance your current mortgage and save or purchase a new home, Sean Carlson with Town & Country Credit Union can help. With over 15 years of mortgage experience, he is an expert on VA, FHA, USDA, first-time home buyer, and conventional home loans and can help determine the best loan product to fit your needs. His borrowers agree, saying, Sean was a pleasure to work with and made the entire mortgage process easy. I highly recommend him. Ready to check out how Sean and Town & Country Credit Union can help make your financial life easy? Stop by one of our 6 convenient Fargo, West Fargo locations or visit townandcountry.org today. From free checking accounts to auto loans to commercial and ag loans and, of course, home loans, Town & Country Credit Union has the low loan rates, flexible terms, low fees, and personal service you deserve. See for yourself how much you might save. Apply online today at townandcountry.org.
We get you right into action. We get you right into action here this afternoon. At 106 pounds is where this duel begins. On the mat is Kane Mathiasen for Fargo Davies and Anton Perales for Grand Forks Central. As we welcome you to the Spartan Dome today at North High School here in Fargo, North Dakota for live wrestling coverage. Part of a triple header that we'll have today here on KNOX and on our partner station Rock 95. And we welcome those of you watching on Magnitude Sports coming up today as well. Grand Forks Central's Anton Perales is a 7th grader and Kane Mathiasen also a 7th grader for Fargo Davies at the 106-pound weight class here this afternoon. And as we get started, a shot attempt by Mathiasen on a double leg that Perales will sprawl out of. Comes back with a single leg shot of his own. He's got it in deep on the far side of the mat. Turns it into a double, tries to finish across the head, ducks out from under, but no chance to get the takedown of Mathiasen. They'll work off the mat on the right, and we'll go back to the middle and reset the clock down to a minute left to go in the opening period. And part of a triple header, as we mentioned, we'll be moving our way over to East Grand Forks coming up later on this afternoon for high school hockey between the Knights and the East Grand Forks Green Wave. And then on our partner station, Rock 95, later today for Central boys basketball against Fargo North. That'll be back here at the Spartan Dome in Fargo, so stay with us for that coming up later on this afternoon. A shot attempt by Mathiasen, inside single, good sprawl by Anton Perales of Central, trying to move out of this inside single leg shot. They go overs and unders on the hookup on the arms and end up off the mat on the left side, and they'll go back to the middle, reset once again with 30 seconds left to go in the period. Fargo Davies comes into the duel with 10 ranked wrestlers in the top 4. Grand Forks Central has 3 ranked wrestlers in the top 4. We're set for dandy bouts if the lineup works out at 152 pounds and 182 pounds, with top 4 wrestlers featured on each side. But Grand Forks Central's lineup still a bit in flux at those positions. And Fargo Davies took an injury to Malachi Weremeyer at 132 pounds that will hurt their team a little bit this afternoon as well. Mathiasen with another shot, again on the single leg. Anton Perales has been quick on the sprawls. He counters into a single of his own. Clock down to 5 seconds of the opening period. They're near the boundary on the near side of the mat. Another shot attempt by Perales, double leg, but time will run out. And we will go to the second period of wrestling with no score between Perales and Mathiasen for Fargo Davies and Grand Forks Central. Mathiasen's choice, he'll defer to the third period, and Anton Perales wants to wrestle from bottom. Our 106-pound matchup brought to you on KNOX commercial free today by Hugo's Family Marketplace, by Spray Advantage, by Farmers Union Insurance, Aaron Dunphy, your agent, and by Phil Thompson and Associates. Quick sit-out turn in into the switch for Perales, and Perales has a single leg trying to finish that reversal. Instead, he'll get the escape, and it's 1-0. Anton Perales of Grand Forks Central takes the opening lead with an escape, scoring from bottom. Both wrestlers on their feet in the collar and elbow on the left side of the mat as we take a look at it. Near the boundary as well. Mathiasen turning his back to the mat. Another shot from distance on a single or double leg takedown. Perales has had an easy time of sprawling out of those, and they're off the mat on the left side. They're back to the middle to reset with 1 minute and 29 seconds left to go in the second period. 1-0 Anton Perales for Grand Forks Central at 106 pounds over Kane Mathiasen. Mathiasen is the backup 106-pounder. Davies is going to move up Abdi Noor, their normal 106-pounder, to 113 pounds today. So we'll see him on the mat next for Fargo Davies against Declan Shepard of Grand Forks Central. The wrestlers locking up on the wrists in the middle of the mat. Mathiasen moving in. Better shot this time on the single leg. He's got it in deep. Took that a little bit closer rather than from distance. A counter on a whizzer. Mathiasen turns it into a head and arm, and Perales able to duck underneath that. Both wrestlers back on the feet and meeting face to face, and again on the bodies with the overs and unders. Mathiasen continues to move in. Perales continues to move back. Mathiasen's been the aggressor so far. He goes for a long distance body throw, and Perales able to sag away from that and stay out of trouble. They're on the far side of the mat, overs and unders again. Perales stepping back and now trying to move in on Mathiasen just a bit. They'll circle back towards the middle of the mat. Mathiasen backing up, keeps a collar and elbow into another single leg shot. Nice one, very quick, and he's able to work the takedown on Anton Perales. That will make it a 2-1 score, but Perales really quick onto a sit-out, then ducks underneath, and he's back to his feet. They say Mathiasen still has control. They're off the mat. They're going to give Perales an escape. So a very good counter for Anton Perales after being taken down. But Kane Mathiasen has worked himself closer and closer on his leg shots throughout this second period. He was taking a lot of shots from distance early, and now has been able to close the gap a little bit. A much better shot and technique on his last maneuver. That'll tie the match at 2 after Perales' second escape. Lone takedown so far to Kane Mathiasen. Here's a good shot by Anton Perales, but time will run out before it can finish, and it will be Mathias' choice going to the third. And Kane Mathiasen will choose to work from bottom as well. So each wrestler choosing to work from bottom position to go into their respective period of choice. And we'll see Anton Perales ride from the left-hand side as we go into the third. It's a 2-2 tie at 106 pounds. A good matchup between a pair of 7th graders. to get going so far today. Mathiasen up to his feet, trying to peel hands, running towards the far side of the mat. Perales brought him back, and a quick sit-out out of it by Mathiasen. He reaches back for the switch, has not been able to complete the switch. Still looking for 2, though, rather than 1. He's reaching out at the leg, still reaching at the leg. They're up to their feet, and they're off the mat. And they'll say apparently no loss of control as they go off the mat. So Kane Mathiasen will come back and work from bottom, or will he? Now we're waiting for whether or not there was a point scored there, and they are going to indicate that there was a point for Kane Mathiasen. Our official a little late sending it to the table, but Kane Mathiasen did work the escape, and that's the appropriate call in that sequence. So Mathiasen now leads 3-2 with 1 minute and 30 seconds left to go of the third period. It's a 1-point lead for Kane Mathiasen of Fargo Davies at 106 pounds. This is one of those toss-up matchups that if you're a Knights fan, you've got to have today with the amount of ranked wrestlers that Fargo Davies has in the lineup. A toss-up matchup here. Anton Perales with a double leg shot. Can't get it finished. They go off the mat. They're back to the middle to reset with 1 minute and 19 seconds left to go of the opening period. Perales moving in, initiating the lockup once more. Mathiasen backing up towards the outer boundary of the mat and continuing to work on the arms, but Perales will have to hurry. He does not have a takedown in the match as of yet. Kane Mathiasen, the only wrestler so far with a takedown in this matchup. Fargo Davies with a 1-point lead at 106 pounds, with Kane Mathiasen leading Anton Perales. Perales continues to walk and pace into Kane Mathiasen, but has not been able to find an opening to take a shot. Down to 45 seconds left of the period. Perales down to a knee, back up to his feet. Mathiasen counters, going hard on a head pull out of that head and arm combination. Leaves Perales behind. Now they work back together on the outside of the inner circle. And the clock down to 35 seconds left. Perales will have to find a shot late in the matchup. They're asking for a stalling penalty against Mathiasen from the Grand Forks Central bench. They think Kane Mathiasen has been stepping back a little bit, and they will caution Kane Mathiasen for stalling. The next one's a penalty point. Mathiasen goes to work on a front headlock with 15 seconds left of the matchup. Now it's Perales countering out of the front headlock. Time growing shorter, the clock down to 10. Perales with a shot attempt comes up on the upper body. Tries to convert it into a double leg. A good whizzer combination by Mathiasen to counter. They're off the mat with 5 seconds left. So back to the middle they go. Perales will have to make a quick shot of it. Goes low single. Down to 2, down to 1. He will not finish it, and Kane Mathiasen will take home a decision at 106 pounds. So at 106, it's Mathiasen that works a decision. That will spot 3 points to Fargo Davies as Mathiasen works a 3-2 decision over Anton Perales. It'll be 3-0 in favor of Fargo Davies after the 106-pound matchup. And we're ready to go to 113 pounds, where Abdi Noor, a junior for Fargo Davies, is set to move up to take on Declan Shepard, an 8th grader, for Grand Forks Central. So it'll be Noor versus Shepard at 113 pounds. Match brought to you commercial-free on KNOX by PS Garage Doors, by Lithia Motors, by Express Auto Glass, Jarrell Sports Center, and also by Pete's Za. Abdi Noor, Jr., a little bit more experience than Declan Shepard, who's the 8th grader. And Abdi Noor, with a fireman's carry combination, immediately gets Declan Shepard on a hip, still holding on to that front arm, looking to turn this into a 5-point move. And he's got a 5-point move, and now into the head and arm, and he's got Shepard in all kinds of trouble. Near side of the mat, fall recorded in just 22 seconds. Abdi Noor will get a fall in 22 seconds for Fargo Davies. And at 22 seconds, that'll spot 6 more points to Fargo Davies and make it a 9-0 lead in favor of the Eagles after our 113-pound matchup. Another move up for Fargo Davies. Wyatt Kozakowski will go onto the mat, who is the starting 113-pounder. He'll move to 120 pounds today for Fargo Davies. He'll take on Gabe Tandy of Grand Forks Central. Tandy is a freshman. Kozakowski is a 7th grader. And the match will be presented commercial-free for those of you on KNOX today by Spray Advantage, by Hugo's, by Perkins Family Restaurant, and by Nodak Insurance. Chris Moen, your agent. So Gabe Tandy, who is a freshman, and Wyatt Kozakowski, who is a 7th grader, moving up from 113 to 120. Kozakowski goes after his opponent, Gabe Tandy, on the knees immediately, tries a double leg shot, but Gabe Tandy counters into a back headlock, and he's got him turned in a reverse half Nelson. Half Nelson thrown in by Gabe Tandy on an aggressive counter on a leg shot. He'll get the takedown of 3 points of near fall, And Gabe Tandy with a 5-point move right off the bat to take a 5-0 lead over Wyatt Kozakowski. Kozakowski got Tandy to ride high as Tandy threw the legs in. He still has the legs in, but Kozakowski close to ducking out from underneath and working a reversal. Tandy trying to pull an arm to hold on, and they say that Tandy, at least at the moment, still has control, but he was in some trouble. He'll give up the duck under, and Kozakowski will work a reversal. So Wyatt Kozakowski comes back with a counter after that high leg ride came in from Gabe Tandy. 2-point reversal for Kozakowski makes it 5-2. Gabe Tandy leading by 3 for Grand Forks Central in our 120-pound bout. Kozakowski moving towards the left side. There is junior varsity wrestling going on as well. That's over on the JV mat today, and I believe that's Fargo Davies and Fargo North that are squaring off there. Most of these matches throughout the course of the year that are triangulars will be on 2 mats rather than 1, so that the junior varsity wrestlers have an opportunity as well. Little half Nelson, now chicken wing. Chicken wing bar arm locked on by Kozakowski, trying to work that counter clock across the head. Got a good chicken wing bar, but Gabe Tandy a pretty aggressive sit out against it. Kozakowski has him turned out of the chicken wing bar arm. Tandy able to stay off his back momentarily, now turned over. The official looking for near fall points. They'll award 3, and that will tie the match. Wyatt Kozakowski out of the chicken wing bar makes it a 5-5 matchup in our 120-pound bout. So a 5-point move for Tandy, countering that leg shot with a reverse half right away. Got 5 out of it. But all of a sudden, Kozakowski with the duck under reversal and the 3-point turn on the chicken wing bar. And we're tied at 5, and that's going to end the opening period of wrestling. So the young Wyatt Kozakowski, a 7th grader, but so far has had a pretty good advantage of it ever since the opening move, and that makes it a 5-5 tie as we go to the second. The choice went to Kozakowski. He'll defer, and Tandy will choose to start from the legs, which is interesting. Kozakowski had the better leg shot to get started. Tandy makes a leg shot of his own from distance on a double leg. He's got it in deep, however, continues to move in on Kozakowski. Kozakowski a deep sprawl for Fargo Davies, then counters with a crossface, picks a leg, goes 2-on-1 on the crossface into the corkscrew. Looking for the takedown. They haven't awarded it to him yet as Tandy's able to reach out and get a hold of a leg into at least an outside single. Kozakowski goes to work on the head, able to push that head to the mat, and they're going to give him the takedown. So Wyatt Kozakowski, a counter takedown, and now he has another chicken wing in. Boy, it's fun to see a guy that really likes to work the chicken wing technique. He's got Tandy turned and then brought him over with a nice deep waist after Tandy tried to roll through it. Near fall points being awarded by our official. Sagging back is Kozakowski, and he gets the fall. Time of the fall will be at 2 minutes and 50 seconds at 120 pounds. Wyatt Kozakowski will end up, Kozadowski will end up with the fall for Fargo Davies, and that will spot 6 more points to the Eagles. They'll take a 15-0 lead after the first 3 bouts of the matchup. That'll take us to 126 this afternoon, and Liam Wicklow of Fargo Davies will go up against Mason Williams of Grand Forks Central. Williams is a sophomore for the Knights, and Wicklow is an 8th grader for Fargo Davies. And the match will be presented commercial-free by PS Garage Doors, by Applegren Construction, by RBB Electric, by Franson Bank and Trust, and by New Vision Truck Accessories. And we have a whistle as we're going to perhaps reset the wrestlers. Not sure what that was about, but after 9 seconds, a whistle, and now we'll restart. So another one of those toss-up matches. Liam Wicklow, an 8th grader for Fargo Davies. Mason Williams, a sophomore for Grand Forks Central. But the Knights dropping a couple of toss-up matches early, and that's going to hurt their chances in the duel. After they had the toss-up at 106, they had a toss-up at 120, and Fargo Davies comes out with 9 points in those 2 toss-up matches. Shot from distance by Mason Williams. He's in deep on a double leg. Head between the legs. He's going to try to finish coming up vertically. A counter so far coming in from Liam Wicklow, trying to reach back at the waist. Now up to a leg is Mason Williams, driving hard into the double leg, the true finish on it. Head back between the legs, collapse to the mat. Wicklow continues to work deep waist and on a hip counter. Cranks the deep waist over, kind of that gut wrench turn, works in over the top on an arm. Williams continues to hold both legs. He may be holding on for a stalemate, and he's going to get it. So a stalemate will take us back to the middle to reset with 58 seconds left of the opening period in our 126-pound bout. Williams plays with the head a little bit. Liam Wicklow ducking in underneath, taking a look for an opening. Williams standing his ground in the center circle, now initiates the collar and elbow. Wicklow down to a knee, taking a look. Williams meets him on the feet. So far, the lone shot from Mason Williams. Wicklow reaching out after arms again. They hang on the outer boundary. And Wicklow steps out of the hand play, and now they work back in towards the middle again. Williams reaching in on the neck, moving the head around, looking for an opening with the clock down to 20 seconds to go, but neither wrestler particularly aggressive after that shot from Mason Williams, and the shot from Williams for Central came from a pretty good distance away. Down to the knees again. Both wrestlers will meet on the knees. Little front headlock thrown on by both wrestlers here. You can see both of them with arms over the other. So double fronts on the head here, which is an interesting technique to say the least. Neither's going to find an opening there, and that's the way the first period's going to run out. The choice apparently is going to go to Wicklow, and Wicklow's going to choose bottom. So Liam Wicklow wants to work from bottom. I believe this was actually supposed to be Central's choice here. I'm not sure. The head coach of Fargo Davies, Tegan Weber, asking about something with our official. So far, Davies had the choice in the odd matches, and this is match number 4. So perhaps this is supposed to be Grand Forks Central's choice. And I think they are going to say that this is Central's choice. So that was what the combination was about, and you're going to see Tandy, or actually Mason Williams, say that he will defer. And so Liam Wicklow will choose bottom. So we get to the same place, but it will be Mason Williams' choice when we get to the third period rather than Mason Williams' choice here in the second. The coin toss allowed Fargo Davies to have the first choice in odd matches. And here's a cross-face cradle from Mason Williams. So Williams will turn him over in a cross-face cradle, and he has his opponent for Fargo Davies, Liam Wicklow, in a bit of trouble in the middle of the mat. Wicklow's able to turn back to his base. Williams continues to work with that cradle crossed up. He's trying to crank it back over. The cradle is broken, but Mason Williams will pick up 3 points of near fall, and Williams will take a 3-0 lead, and Mason Williams has not yet surrendered the crossface. He's looking to go 2-on-1 on the corkscrew turn if he can find it. He's got the 2-on-1. Now the technique is to walk it around the head, and a good alert counter by Liam Wicklow. He was able to put a leg in, and it actually turns into an overhook for Williams, but that leg is what kept Williams from being able to turn that corkscrew over, and that corkscrew is deadly if it gets turned. Williams continuing to work for a cradle. You can tell he's very comfortable from top, and a big momentum boost for Mason Williams after Liam Wicklow chose to work from bottom and then gets turned in the crossface cradle almost immediately. 50 seconds to go, second period, and Williams looking to lock up another cradle. He leads 3-0 after a crossface cradle turned into 3 points of near fall. Now Williams working for a half Nelson bar, and Wicklow broken down from bottom, struggling to get back to his base. But he's had a real struggle after choosing bottom of gaining any momentum from the bottom position.
30 seconds.
They're on the boundary on the outside, right side of the mat. Williams just continuing to work 2-on-1 on the arms, and that's going to head back into the middle for a restart with 25 seconds left to go here in the second period. Good second period for Mason Williams of Grand Forks Central, at least thus far. A 3-0 lead. Williams will ride from the right, which is not an odd choice, but an unnatural one for most wrestlers. Normally you'll see the left-hand side with the right arm being dominant. He pops right and goes to work on a bull drive, and he's got the bull drive in on Wicklow down fairly tight. Wicklow trying to hold an arm in towards the midsection to counter it off. Williams back up to his base now as Wicklow comes back to his hands and knees. Williams goes right back to work on that cross-face cradle. He's got Wicklow perhaps locked up, and if the time runs out, it's going to take us to the third, and we'll see if that changes what Mason Williams wants to do as far as his choice. Williams will look to Jeff Welsh and the coaching staff. And it looked as though Garrett Litzinger, the assistant coach for Central, perhaps had a design for Williams to choose top. Williams chooses bottom. And Litzinger, as he sat back down on the bench, was kind of grimacing a little bit. I think he read what we read. Mason Williams had a good time of it in the second period as far as being able to ride Liam Wicklow out, work the near fall as well. Might have had an advantage to go right back to that spot. Nonetheless, it's 3-0 Mason Williams as we start the third period of wrestling. Liam Wicklow for Fargo Davies trying to keep a hold of Williams, who chooses bottom. Williams into his sit-out. He's deep on the hips, though. Dangerous situation working for the switch. He's going to get aggressive with it, though, and he's able to work the reversal. A nice reversal by Mason Williams, who went to a switch, was kind of collapsed on his hip. Sometimes you take a risk by doing that, but he was able to get the reward by coming up with the switch, and he'll lead by a score of 5-0, and now turns Wicklow back to his base and has an opportunity to get started with 1:10 left to go in the third period of wrestling. Williams working from top, trying to cradle things up once again. That's been his MO throughout the course of this match. He's been trying to work that crossface cradle. And when you see a good crossface cradle technician, it's a very interesting thing to watch. It's one of those moves that from bottom, every wrestler knows is coming. But when you've got somebody that's really good at working the openings and able to work the leverage to lock it up, they are really a practitioner of that craft, and Williams has been that. He's had a very good opportunity and good leverage from top to work control of that crossface. They're going to warn Liam Wicklow for stalling, as ever since he chose bottom to start the second period, Wicklow has been unable to move against the riding of Mason Williams for Grand Forks Central. Down to 25 seconds to go. We're going to see a whistle and blood time. And it looks like blood time will come off against Liam Wicklow. So blood time for Liam Wicklow. He'll come to the near side of the mat. Again, for those of you on KNOX, it's going to be a very sports-heavy day today. Following the broadcast of this duel, we will depart without much of a post-game report just to come back for a quick wrap-up. And then we're on our way over to East Grand Forks this afternoon at Civic Center Arena. It'll be East Grand Forks and Grand Forks Central in hockey. But because of the schedule changes yesterday, we've been given an opportunity where Grand Forks Central Knights boys basketball will be back here at Spartan Dome this evening. They start at 7:15. And so what we will do is we will come back here following hockey today, and we'll be able to bring you that matchup. However, for those of you that are Knights fans, that matchup will be on our partner station, Rock 95, 95.7 FM and 1590 AM here at Spartan Dome later on tonight. That is due to NFL football taking over following hockey this afternoon here on KNOX as we join in progress Game 1 of the divisional round and bring you entire coverage of Game 2. We get restarted after the blood time for Liam Wicklow. Mason Williams locking up a crossface cradle. We're down to 10 seconds, and Mason Williams a few seconds away from working the first victory in the duel today for Grand Forks Central. This will come at 126 pounds. It'll be a decision. Mason Williams wins it by a final score of 5-0. Grand Forks Central will pick up 3 team points for the decision and will close the gap to 15-3 after 4 bouts in our matchup. It'll take us to 132 pounds. Fargo Davies is going to move Skylar Oster up in their lineup. Oster will replace Malachi Weremeyer, who is a ranked wrestler at 132. So this is a blow for Fargo Davies. Oster, a freshman, moving up. And Grand Forks Central will counter with Noah Morkey, who is a freshman as well. So a pair of freshmen. Morkey for Central at 132 and Skylar Oster for Davies at 132. And the match will be presented commercial-free on KNOX by Phil Thompson and Associates. Also on KNOX commercial-free today. Brought to you by New Vision Truck Accessories, Atlas Auto, Lotus Massage, Therapy and Wellness, Lake Region State College, and Franson Bank and Trust. So it'll be Morkey for Central versus Skylar Oster, who is a move up for Fargo Davies at 132 pounds with a 12-point lead for Fargo Davies in the duel at 15-3. Couple of toss-up matches for Davies going the right direction earlier today, and that's given Fargo Davies a little room to play with here. Skylar Oster trying a bluff shot, and it's countered immediately for Grand Forks Central by Morkey. He tries to go to work on a front headlock, and he had a little control of Skylar Oster, but Oster will step back. Both wrestlers back to center. Couple of bluffs on the head by Morkey trying to find an opening to attack legs. Oster moving up with the lineup, perhaps just trying to survey his opponent a bit, taking some time. Another bluff shot that Oster kind of took but didn't really commit to. Again, just perhaps trying to get Morkey to move around a bit. Morkey holding his ground in the middle, and after the hand fighting on the head, our official's going to step in, talk to the wrestlers a little bit, and get them restarted. I kind of like that technique from our official today. When he sees some non-committal wrestling from the feet, he'll bring them back to the middle for a restart. Doesn't really stop the flow of the match, but he has the opportunity to sneak a word in there to the wrestlers saying, hey, okay, stop the hand fighting on the head, which was really beginning to take over the bout a little bit. Morkey down to a knee as we're into the second minute of this opening period, then back up to his feet. And both wrestlers continue the hand fighting. Here's a shot by Oster. Morkey able to counter it off with a sprawl for Central. Works the front headlock, and he's got Oster in some trouble. That's a deep front headlock in the middle of the mat. Oster trying to step out of it, and he does. Morkey didn't really have an angle to try to finish that, but had control momentarily. Here's a shot by Morkey. Good low single leg shot. Collapses, and he's got Oster down on the mat. Turned it into a good low single leg shot, and Oster just trying to step out of it, working for the escape immediately, but they're going to see a caution for stalling against Morkey for holding on to the leg while Oster's trying to lunge out, and finally Morkey's able to gain control. So 2-0. The lead will go to Noah Morkey, who works a takedown on the single leg. However, Oster nearly had a chance to get out, and he does at least earn a caution for stalling against Morkby, and now Oster will get a stand-up and an escape right at the end of the period, and that will make it a 2-1 matchup as we go to the second. Oster's decision here, and Oster is going to choose bottom, so rather than defer his choice to the third period, Oster will choose bottom for Fargo Davies to start the second. Morkby will ride from the left-hand side. We're underway with second period wrestling. 2-1, Morkby on top. Oster from bottom, coming back to the feet and immediately trying to go to work on a stand-up. Had a chance to peel the hands. Morkby brought him back once, but a second stand-up by Oster will be successful. Skylar Oster works the stand-up, and we are tied at 2. 20 seconds into the second period of wrestling, and both wrestlers resume their sort of slow stalking out of one another and the hand fighting. Morkby has the momentum with a single leg so far in the matchup. He works another, and he's got Oster in some more trouble. Turns this into a double. I'm not sure why Morkby bailed out on that single. He had a good angle on it, and Oster was kind of let off the hook a bit by Morkby at the end of that technique. They're on the left-hand side of the mat. A shot by Oster. Morkby able to counter it off with some good upper body strength, and now the wrestlers locked up over and under, with Morkby perhaps trying an overhook on the arm. He went after an ankle pick. Nicely done by Morkby, and Noah Morkby comes up with another takedown. They'll work off the mat. They'll go back to the middle and reset. Boy, Noah Morkby's found some angles that perhaps you don't see. This is kind of an unorthodox wrestler for Grand Forks Central, but that ankle pick was something he committed to. He worked for the opening on it by keeping that overhook, and he had a very nice finish to it. And Grand Forks Central's wrestler Noah Morkby has a lead of 4-2 at 132 pounds after the takedown. Up to his feet, Oster, out of another stand-up opportunity. Morkby able to collapse him to the mat, and Noah Morkby gaining a little bit of momentum on his ride here in the second half of this second period. Oster to his base, reaching back after a leg on a switch. He'll get out, and Noah Morkby will surrender the escape. So now it's 4-3. 1 point lead for Noah Morkby at Grand Forks Central, 4-3 in our 132-pound bout. Skylar Oster was a bump up for Fargo Davies from 126 to 132. Again, this is a spot normally occupied by Malachi Weremeyer, who's a ranked wrestler for Fargo Davies, and Oster trying to pick up a win for his crew in a reserve role, and that injury to Malachi Weremeyer may be a long-standing one, according to a conversation we had with Tegan Weber, the coach. And here's a double leg shot that's countered on an upper body throw by Noah Morkby. He works double underhook and is able to get the head and arm throw, not a head and arm, but rather the pancake cross body throw. Morkby uses the advantage for a 4-point maneuver at the end, gets the takedown on the throw and 2 points of near fall as time runs out in the period. Noah Morkby goes up by an 8-3 margin. So Morkby with a 4-point technique at the end of the second period now leads the bout 8-3 as we start the third, and Morkby wants to work from the legs to start the third period. So momentum for Noah Morkby. Morkby, a freshman, and working underneath, trying to get at the legs of Skylar Oster. Oster sprawling away from a couple of techniques, and he'll step away. Morkby on the outer boundary will make a slow, steady gait back into the middle of the mat. Shot attempt by Oster, but again, he hasn't committed to one of those as of yet. Really, Skylar Oster has had perhaps one shot attempt where he's gone after the legs with really a good commitment to it. Hasn't been able to be successful as of yet. Morkby has to be careful. He was cautioned for stalling earlier after his opening takedown where Oster tried to get away, and Morkby just collapsed on a leg to hold him on the mat. So he has to be careful. Another one will cost him a point. 1:05 left. Another shot attempt by Oster. Morkby again trying to counter up on the upper body on the double overhooks. Instead, ducking out of it is Oster, and Oster got the takedown. So Morkby tried to lure Oster into that that takedown shot so he could work that pancake throw again, and instead Oster was ready for it, ducks out of the throw and comes up with the takedown. But here's Oster with a turn, and Morkby catches him and scores the fall. Oster got a little too aggressive, came after him with a high ride, and Morkby was able to work a turn and comes up with a fall at 5:17. 6 points for Grand Forks Central, and Noah Morkby will work a fall for the Knights at 132 pounds, and that will close the gap to 15-9 as Central picks up a big win at 132. It'll take us to 138 pounds today. For Grand Forks Central, it'll be Hayden Mack, a junior, going up against Sawyer Free, a junior for Fargo Davies at 138 pounds. So Fargo Davies back in their normal lineup, you could say. getting ready to go into this one. And the match will be brought to you commercial free by Abra Auto Body and Glass, by New Vision Truck Accessories, also brought to you by the Golf Center and Apple Grin Construction on KNOX. The wrestlers locking up in the upper body. Hayden Mack trying to pull his Fargo Davies opponent, Sawyer Free, to the mat out of a front headlock, and all of a sudden Mack wanted to go upper body. They'll move off the mat, and they'll come back to the middle and reset. While we have an opportunity here, we'll try to run through the individual rankings. We have those. We'll try to pull those out for you once again as we continue along here. But as we mentioned, Fargo Davies with 10 ranked wrestlers in the top 4. Sawyer Free with a good shot on a single leg here, and Mack trying to counter with a whizzer. Free with a back trip. He's got Mack in some trouble. Free was turned momentarily. The official says no near fall as of yet. Free caught the legs on the way through, had them separated, but was unable to keep the turn. However, Sawyer Free will work the opening takedown, and that will make it a 2-0 lead for Sawyer Free. So Sawyer Free with the opening lead, working the opening takedown in the matchup, and that's always a key momentum boost when you're looking for some early momentum in the matchup. The wrestler that gets the opening takedown usually has a lot of momentum coming through. And right now we'll see that for Sawyer Free as he's been able to control a little bit of momentum since earning the takedown on Hayden Mack. Both of these wrestlers are juniors, but Sawyer Free, the scheduled wrestler, and Hayden Mack, the scheduled wrestler as well. Grand Forks Central has stayed in their lineup and will do so through this bout. Then things are going to turn around, whereas Fargo Davies has had to move some wrestlers around due to some injury concerns that they've had throughout the course of the day. Here's a quick head and arm turn into a cradle, rather. It's a cradle that's turned by Sawyer Free. Some counts of near fall. They're on the boundary, but the official has counted near fall at least 3 times so far, so at least 2 points coming up for Sawyer Free out of a cross-face cradle. Mack was able to free his arm, so it turns into a simple drape cradle at this point. And the clock's going to run out in the period. We'll see what our official's decision is. 3 points of near fall for Sawyer Free. So Free with that late cross-face cradle will make it 5-0. For Davies, Kane Mathiasen is ranked at 106 pounds. He stepped into the lineup there. Wyatt Kozadowski is ranked at 113 and wrestled 120 today. Sajan Gurung is ranked for Fargo Davies at 120. He will not be in the lineup this afternoon. And Malachi Weremeyer, we mentioned, is out of the lineup. He's ranked at 132 pounds, ranked 3rd in the East region. Sawyer Free is ranked 4th at 138 pounds. So the wrestler that's on the mat right now for Fargo Davies is ranked 4th in the Eastern Dakota Conference at 138. And throughout the course of the bout, we can talk about some of the other names in the EDC as well. Right now it's Hayden Mack who's got a leg right on. He's trying to work a power half Nelson for some near fall points. And he had Free in trouble momentarily. Free able to turn back to his base, but holding on to that power half is Hayden Mack. The official says 90 degrees at this point, is not indicating near fall. Jeff Welsh, the head coach of Central, trying to root Hayden Mack on, asking him to go a little bit more power on the head to see if he can turn that into a scoring combination. He has Free down deep on the mat. Free is able to free his legs out of at least one half of the leg ride. And now Mack will have to bail out of it, and he comes back onto a ride, and Sawyer Free immediately into a sit-out and turn. Now back on his hips, and Mack trying to counter with an overhook. He's holding on to control, but this is a very precarious situation really for both wrestlers. Free gambling, he's on his hips reaching after a leg. Mack collapsing on an arm to hold on to control, and Free's going to bail out of that. He didn't feel like he had the leverage in that situation with a clock down to 35 seconds left to go. And now another power half out of a leg ride for Hayden Mack. He's going to go to work on the body. Nearly had a scissors on the body. That leg ride underneath, completely underneath the body. This is Mack gambling now, and they're going to rule it a stalemate. We'll reset in the middle with 21 seconds left of the second period. When you get on your hips like that, for both wrestlers, it's kind of like holding a wolf by the ears. You don't really like it, but you don't dare let go either. You just kind of wait. Hopefully you get a stalemate at some point, or you just kind of stop play if you can, because you don't like to be in that spot if you're either wrestler in that situation. Mack going after legs again. He got high. Sawyer Free of Fargo Davies reaches out, tries to go after a half Nelson to counter. Now trying to duck out underneath. Mack able to hold the legs. Time will run out. There will be no scoring in the second period. We'll go to the third. It will be Hayden Mack's decision for Grand Forks Central. But Mack with a good win of the second period. He rides out Sawyer Free. That kind of makes the argument for riding time in high school wrestling. They haven't gone that far as of yet. They do at the collegiate level where you can score on riding time. And Hayden Mack went a full 2 minutes from top on Sawyer Free. Doesn't get rewarded for it, but it's kind of like the shot clock in basketball. You play pretty good defense. You want to get rewarded by forcing the offense to give up the ball. And in this case, it didn't happen. From the feet is Hayden Mack's decision. Sawyer Free works an ankle pick. Great low single leg shot, and Sawyer Free has another takedown. So Free coming up with a takedown, 4th-ranked wrestler in EDC wrestling at 138 pounds, and he takes a 7-0 lead over Hayden Mack at the 138-pound bout of this matchup. Next is where Grand Forks Central starts to move wrestlers around a little bit. It was going to be determined by the coin flip as to what they did at 152 and 160 pounds today, also at what they did with 170 and 182, and they're going to put a sub in at 145 pounds. So not a lot of chances really to score big points coming up, and we're expecting a ranked battle at 152. Braden Williams of Central's ranked number 1, and Ryan Barth of Davies is ranked number 3. So if the matchups hold true to where they want to be, you could see a couple of ranked battles still coming up. Sawyer Free, chicken wing bar arm on the left-hand side. He's trying to walk it around the head on Mack. Mack lengthening the body, trying to apply some torque to counter it, but Free has a pretty good move on it. And he counter with a deep waist, and he's got the fall. Chicken wing bar. Man, we've seen Fargo Davies work that technique well so far today. We haven't seen a team come out and really commit to that in quite a while, but that chicken wing bar works into a fall for Sawyer Free at 138 pounds. Sawyer Free for Fargo Davies works a fall. Fargo Davies will be spotted 16 points, and it's 21-9 in favor of Fargo Davies after 6 pounds of our duel today. That'll take us to 145 pounds. Jaden Hakey is set to go on the mat for Grand Forks Central. He'll be a reserve stepping in for Brendan Wynn Kelly, who is injured. Fargo Davies set to counter with David Arop. Arop is a senior, and Hakey will come onto the mat for Grand Forks Central. And this match will be presented on KNOX, commercial free this afternoon, by more of our fine sports partners, and we thank them for bringing you Central Wrestling this afternoon here on KNOX, and also our later matchups as well. This one will be brought to you commercial free today on KNOX by Lake Region State College, by Acme Tools, by Perkins Family Restaurant, by Nodak Insurance, Chris Moen, your agent, and by Finest Auto Trim. So the 145-pound bout, Jaden Hakey going up against David Arop of Fargo Davies. Hakey for Grand Forks Central. Arop stepping back towards the middle of the mat as Jaden Hakey chases him around a little bit. Both wrestlers on the head and arms here early. Arop looking for a little 2-on-1 on the left wrist of Hakey. Hakey counters by putting a hand up on the neck. They spin as they get to the outer boundary on the near side of the mat. They'll break away. Both wrestlers back to the middle, but Hakey an aggressive chase of Arop. Arop steps away from it just a little bit. Now they go back to work once again. Hakey continuing to keep Arop on the outer boundary here, continuing to move in. Arop looking for a bit of an opening. They'll move off the mat. Back to the middle they go with 1:13 left to go with the opening period. No score in the matchup. Fargo Davies leading the duel by a score of 21-9. Grand Forks Central's picked up 2 wins at 126 and at 132 this afternoon, including a fall for Noah Morkvee. But 2 falls have gone the way, 3 falls have gone the way for Fargo Davies so far today. Here's a spin out of a takedown shot, and we'll see Jaden Hakey working the opening takedown of the matchup. Hakey with a good counter takedown takes a lead by a score of 2-0. Arop broken down on the mat. Hakey goes to work on a crossface. And a pretty good one for Hakey, but Arop able to reach out, peel it off. A bar arm thrown in by Hakey on the opposite side. Now looking for double bar arms as Arop gets back to his base for the Eagles. Hakey continues to move, throws a leg in on the right-hand side. Boy, we've seen Hakey work about 3 different techniques since getting to top. Went crossface, went bar arm, now works leg ride. So he's an aggressive top wrestler here. He's trying to break Arop down. He might be working for that guillotine combination. You get the leg ride thrown in, you try to bring the opposite arm up over your neck and then crank a wrestler back. It's a pretty good technique if you know how to work it. It's a difficult one to turn unless you're a very accomplished leg rider. Time will run out, and Arop is going to be the type of wrestler that's going to be difficult to ride legs on. Longer body, longer legs. He's a little bit thinner. It's going to be difficult to ride legs on him, and so Arop will stay out of trouble at the end of the period. We'll see if Jaden Hakey, once he gets back to top, if he does, changes up tactics a little bit up there. 2-0 as we go to the second period. The choice was Arop's. He chose to defer. Hakey will take bottom to start the second period. Arop riding from the right, has an arm pinned up across the body underneath. Hakey getting back to his feet, turns after an outside single. Now back up to his feet, and Arop's going to bail out. He'll surrender the escape, and that'll make it a 3-0 matchup. So 3-0 in favor of Jaden Hakey as Hakey works the escape from bottom. And now we'll see both wrestlers back to the feet. It seems like both of them have wanted to work counters, even though Hakey has moved in on Arop, and Arop has stayed on the outer boundary where he is right now. Kind of ducks, and they move off the map. They'll come back to the middle to restep. So a restart from the middle with 1:25 left to go in the second period. Shot attempt by Hakey, just reaching out after a leg. Not a great committal. Good counter, though, by Arop in a double leg. Hakey trying to counter with the head and arm combination. Arop up, bear hugging the midsection. They're going to go off the mat before either wrestler can finish that. That was a good shot by Arop. Was just unable to finish it. Jaden Hakey with enough strength for Grand Forks Central to counter that off before any damage was done. Have a nice crowd here this afternoon as well for this triangular. Nice little group of fans over on the far side as the coronavirus situation in North Dakota continues to improve. And they've gathered. Shot attempt by Arop on a single leg. Works for the crossbody trip. Now pulls the leg down. But Hakey a good counter again and comes up with a spin for the takedown. 2 more points for Jaden Hakey. He'll take a lead by a score of 5-0. And you feel bad if you're David Arop. He had pretty good shots in that sequence. A couple of very good attacks to the legs. And each time, Jaden Hakey had the appropriate counter. Now Hakey a double leg ride. He's got a half Nelson turn, a couple of counts of near fall. There's 3, 4, and 5. This will be a 3-point maneuver for Jaden Hakey. He stays with the leg ride and is rewarded with a fall. Time of the fall will be at 3 minutes and 37 seconds. No, Jaden Hakey is not going to come out of the leg ride despite a difficult opponent to ride with. He comes up with a half Nelson turn out of the leg ride. Jaden Hakey with a fall at 3:37 will pick up 16 points for Grand Forks Central. And it's now 21-15. Grand Forks Central is within a bout of Fargo Davies as we have a good one going on here today at the Spartan Dome. We go to 152 pounds. The change will be made. It will be Mike Erickson that goes on the mat at 152 for Grand Forks Central. So Braden Williams ranked number 1 at 152, but Central will make a change, and Mike Erickson will go on the mat. Ryan Barth is scheduled to go on the mat for Fargo Davies, and thus far, Fargo Davies had never indicated to us that they were going to make a change. We'll see a break here momentarily. The official wants to go over and get a drink, and it is Ryan Barth that checks in for Fargo Davies.
Barth and Erickson.
So we'll see a change in the matchup here. And Grand Forks Central wants to take their shot with Braden Williams at 160, trying to keep this duel close. So Ryan Barth ranked 3rd at 152 pounds. Mike Erickson on the mat at 160 pounds for Grand Forks Central. And here's a throw for both wrestlers. Both wrestlers trying to finish an upper body throw, and it's going to be Williams, or correction, Barth, that gets the finish on a throw right across the upper body. Just the double underhook throw. Ryan Barth works it, goes to work looking for the fall. Erickson spins back to his base. Barth will pick up the 5-point maneuver. Mike Erickson of Grand Forks Central is ranked 2nd at 160 pounds. Ryan Barth of Davies is ranked 3rd at 152. So these are ranked wrestlers in their respective weight classes, and Erickson did weigh in qualifying for the 152-pound bout today. He works a little sit-out and turn into a side roll, ends up in a sit-out again, aggressively turns back to the top. He got off the side of the mat, but is able to work an escape. He breaks the control of Ryan Barth, and we'll see blood time against Barth as Central gets a point and will make it 5-1.
Barth leading Erickson.
So you're going to see in this situation, and just kind of playing the numbers here, Braden Williams moves up to 160 pounds for Grand Forks Central, and Fargo Davies is set to counter at 160 with Kenny Hansen, who is not ranked in the top 4. That doesn't mean that Kenny Hansen is unaccomplished, but what Central's attempting to do here is close the gap a little bit further. If they can keep Mike Williams from giving up anything more than a decision, they'd have an opportunity to get Braden Williams up at 160 pounds to work a fall if they can get it, and try to close the gap in the duel. So Jeff Welsh with a coin toss, perhaps going the way that he wanted it to, and now another throw attempt, and ducking out of it is Mike Erickson. He could tell he was going to lose the leverage on the throw attempt It's been all throws so far for Ryan Barth. He got one to hit. The second one will give him a takedown, and he leads by 6 at 7-1 with 35 seconds left to go here in the opening period. Williams back to his base, working for another escape. Now he goes after a head and arm of his own. He got caught in a half, Nelson. He got caught in a reverse half, and Ericsson's in some trouble. Ryan Barth has him turned on the near side of the mat. Barth has stayed with the throw attempts and on the upper body the entire match, and there's the fall. Not what Grand Forks Central was looking for. Time of the fall will be at 1:43 seconds, and Ryan Barth will pick up a fall, and a key fall for Fargo Davies. 6 more points for the Eagles, and they'll take a lead of 27-15.
160.
Well, that's a situation where Central rolled with the numbers game, but you couldn't give up the fall in that situation, and in the end, Ryan Barth was up to the challenge with that upper body situation that he had going. And now we'll go to 160 pounds. We'll see Braden Williams, the top-ranked EDC wrestler at 152 for Grand Forks Central, going up against Kenny Hansen at 160 pounds, a junior for Fargo Davies. But the duel has taken another turn against Grand Forks Central this afternoon, with Grand Forks Central down by 12 now in the matchup. On the start, we'll see Kenny Hansen down to his hands and knees looking for an opening. Braden Williams able to counter it off so far with a front headlock. We'll see what he looks for as far as a finish out of that. This matchup brought to you commercial-free by West Metro Buick GMC in Monticello, by East Grand Forks Dairy Queen. Into a head and arm for Braden Williams, and he has his wrestler in trouble. Hansen's in trouble, and the falls recorded in just 32 seconds.
32 seconds.
So at 160 pounds, Grand Forks Central will get the fall back in 32 seconds, and Braden Williams gets the fall that Grand Forks Central was looking for. 6 points for Grand Forks Central. They are back within 6. The score now 27-21 as we move on to 170 pounds in the duel. And at 170, we're going to see Austin Bicker go on the mat. He's a senior for Grand Forks Central against Landon Alex, a senior for Fargo Davies. And Austin Bicker, who will come onto the mat for Central, moving down 2 weight classes today. Bicker is ranked at 195, I believe. Let me take a look here. Apologies, I'm in the West Region rankings. Here we go. Let's go up there to 195. Well, no, Austin Bicker's ranked at 182, apologies. He's the second-ranked wrestler at 182 pounds in the EDC. But a good outside single coming in, and the turn and takedown for Landon Alex, the senior for Fargo Davies. And he's got Bicker in some trouble, going to work on a deep half Nelson. He had Bicker turned on the far side of the mat momentarily, but Bicker will come back to his base. But it will be 2-0 in favor of Landon Alex in our 170-pound bout. So Landon Alex up to the task so far against the second-ranked wrestler in the EDC at 182 pounds. That moves down to 170 today. Braden Williams is ranked number 1 in the EDC at 152, moving up to 60, and then the number 2 ranked wrestler at 182, moving down to 170. So a pretty good 1-2 punch today for Fargo Davies, or rather for Grand Forks Central. They get a fall out of it, but the opening takedown to Landon Alex, who is definitely up for the challenge here at 170 pounds. Alex is not ranked in the top 4 in the EDC at 170 pounds, but the way he's handled himself thus far, that must be a pretty good weight class in the Eastern Dakota Conference this year, because he looks every bit up to the challenge against the second-ranked guy at 182. On his base and looking for an opening is Austin Bicker. Bicker popping back up to his base again. Alex goes to work underneath the body. Had a 2-on-1. He works chicken wing again. Fargo Davies has just found something with that chicken wing bar arm that they really like. This is in deep, and Bicker's on his way over, and Bicker's in some trouble. He's turned on the far side of the mat. That's the third wrestler to go on the mat today for Davies and work a chicken wing bar arm. Tegan Weber has definitely taught that technique to his Davies wrestlers, because they are using it all the way up and down the lineup, and they have Bicker in some trouble, who goes to work on a deep bridge. Sagging back and looking for the fall here is junior Landon Alex, and he's going to pick it up. Time of the fall will be at 1:51 seconds of the opening period. Fargo Davies will take a 33-21 lead. They'll lead by 12 points, and they're about away from closing this out after the 170-pound matchup. And so now Grand Forks Central will go to 182. They're going to move Sincere Haskins up to 182 pounds, a junior for Grand Forks Central, to take on Mohamed Al-Janabi, a senior for Fargo Davies. Al-Janabi comes into the matchup as the scheduled wrestler at 182. Sincere Haskins will go onto the mat for Grand Forks Central. at 182 pounds as we're down to the final few bouts of the afternoon. This match will be presented commercial-free by Hugo's Family Marketplace today, also by Atlas Auto and Jarrell Sports Center in Grand Forks, and by Spray Advantage in Grand Forks and St. Thomas. Sincere Haskins chasing around against Al Janabi. Al Janabi stepping his way towards the middle of the mat. Al Janabi, you could tell, really well, a really put-together wrestler, strong in the upper body here. He comes out, initiates a collar and elbow with Sincere Haskins. They meet in the middle of the mat. Haskins ducks out of that collar and elbow. They circle back towards the middle. Some hand fighting again by Haskins. Al Janabi ducking down to a knee on a couple of attempts, looking to create an opening. Haskins continues to bat the head. Good single leg shot here by Haskins, but Al Janabi able to counter it off in the upper body. You've got two very strong wrestlers against one another here. But again, Sincere Haskins moving up from 170 to the 182-pound weight class, and you can tell as you look at them that Haskins is giving up a few pounds. Al Janabi, good outside single leg shot. Haskins will take a wizard counter off the mat. They'll go back to the middle to reset. 1:04 left of the opening period. Again, Davies is about away from closing this out, perhaps two. They lead by 12 right now. There are 3 bouts remaining after this, so technically not a bout away from closing this out. A fall here would put Grand Forks Central in a must-win situation throughout the remainder of the lineup. Central had a couple of toss-up matches that didn't quite go their way earlier today. Otherwise, this bout would be very much in the balance. This duel would be very much in the balance as we go into the final weights. But right now, Central having to chase Fargo Davies on the scoreboard a bit. They restart in the middle on the feet with 38 seconds to go. Haskins again, some sort of a baiting, if you will, some hand fighting up on the head. Al Janabi moving in to go collar and elbow, takes a duck towards a leg. Haskins just trying to power his way back on the mat. He was being forced off of it on the right boundary, and Al Janabi is happy right now just to use the power to keep Haskins backing up, down to 15 seconds. And Al Janabi watches as Haskins steps his way back towards the middle. Haskins stepping back in, looking for an opening on Al Janabi. Some more hand fighting. Haskins sort of shrugs his shoulders and says, what's going on here? And he's got a real stare in on Al Janabi as they move off the mat once more. I don't think he likes the way that Al Janabi is coming after him. And the official's going to step in and talk to both wrestlers as they restart with 2 seconds left. That'll be the end of the opening period. So we'll go to the second. And Al Janabi is going to defer his decision until the third. Sincere Haskins will choose bottom to start the second period of work. 33-21 on the dual score, and Sincere Haskins with a quick stand-up to get away and grab a point, and he'll lead 1-0 over Mohamed Al Janabi in this 182-pound bout. Al Janabi and Haskins facing each other again in the middle of the mat. Haskins trying to use his quickness as an advantage. You can tell that he's just not as thick in the mid-torso as Al Janabi. Haskins moving up from 70 to 82, and the difference is tangible as you watch this matchup take place today. Al Janabi moving in on Haskins on the far side of the mat. Haskins spinning his way on the boundary. They're out of bounds. They're going to caution Sincere Haskins for stalling. So a stalling caution against Sincere Haskins. They'll back to the middle to set up once again. And a quick shot attempt by Haskins. Good single leg shot on the left leg. He'll shuck Al Janabi to the mat. Goes to work on the head. Has not yet been able to gain control. Al Janabi breaks away and they're off the mat. They'll go back to the middle. Sincere Haskins, very good single leg technique. Got in deep, but that strength of Al Janabi was able to produce the counter he was looking for to get out of the clasp. We're down to 1:05 left to go in the second period. Sincere Haskins leads Mohamed Al Janabi by a score of 1-0. Haskins working an escape after choosing bottom to start the second period. They go to work on the head and arms once again. Al Janabi moving in on Haskins. Haskins spins his way back towards the middle of the mat. Haskins has been cautioned once for stalling already. Has to be careful here. Down to a knee for Al Janabi. Haskins backs away from that. We're scheduled for a full lineup today, which in the days of high school wrestling that we're in is kind of a special thing, COVID being what it is, and not only that, but just high school wrestling being what it is. To get 14 bouts is a quality duel. Here's Haskins, double leg shot, brings Al Janabi down hard. Sincere Haskins with a solid double leg shot on Mohamed Al Janabi. Brings him to the mat with a little bit of pop. He picked Al Janabi up and brought him down hard. And Sincere Haskins takes a 3-0 lead with 10 seconds left to go in period number 2. Haskins continuing to work on a left-hand ride, goes underneath the arm. He's just going to hold the legs, and that'll be the end of the second. This will be Al Janabi's choice. And Al Janabi is going to choose the neutral position, which is a bit surprising. Sincere Haskins has been the better wrestler from the feet so far in 2 periods of work, better shots, and the only takedown, but Al Janabi's waiting for something up on the feet. And now Al Janabi upset. He may have taken a finger in the eye on the hand plate from Sincere Haskins. Al Janabi steps away trying to clean out his eye. They're going to keep Haskins on the mat without going over to the boundary. Al Janabi appears to be okay, and they'll restart. 3-0 in favor of Sincere Haskins for Grand Forks Central at 182 pounds. Al Janabi moving out, initiating collar and elbow. Haskins had an arm. Al Janabi will take that away. And now Haskins moving in. Al Janabi doing the backpedaling here. It was the other way around in the first couple of periods, and now Al Janabi will be cautioned for stalling, so it was seen immediately by the official. And now they're going to caution Al Janabi for stalling a second time. That'll be a penalty point, and Sincere Haskins will take a 4-0 lead. That's a quick stall from our official on the second one. Normally the first one you could see. I didn't see the second one being hit that quickly, but Al Janabi hit for 2 stallings. Now he goes after a single leg of his own. Haskins tries to throw him. They end up off the mat. Back to the middle for a restart with 1:19 left of the third period. Keep in mind that Sincere Haskins has been cautioned for stalling as well, so the next one on him is a point for Al Janabi, but our official not liking the pace in their 182-pound matchup. Another solid single leg for Sincere Haskins, and he'll work another takedown on Al Janabi. Boy, this is a fine piece of wrestling for Sincere Haskins of Grand Forks Central. Up against a bigger, stronger Mohamed Al Janabi, and he's worked a couple of solid takedowns in the matchup. Gets the penalty point and an escape, and technically sound for Sincere Haskins this afternoon. With 45 seconds left to go in the third, Sincere Haskins leading by a score of 6-0 in our 182-pound bout, trying to give Grand Forks Central a chance in the final 3 bouts with some good Fargo Davies wrestlers still to come. But a win here would at least keep Grand Forks Central in the conversation with 3 bouts left to go at 195, 220, and 285. Haskins working up on the underhooks again underneath the body. Goes to work on the head. The official taking a long look as Al Janabi again a bit motionless from bottom right now. His pace has not been very good since the first period. Al Janabi was aggressive in the first period, but since then he's slowed down quite a bit, and that's going to be the end of this one. And Sincere Haskins, really a signature win for Grand Forks Central today at 182, as he'll get the win by a score of 6-0. It's a regular decision for Grand Forks Central. They'll pick up 3 points, and it will close the gap to 9 at 33-24, but a very nice piece of wrestling for Sincere Haskins to win the 6-0 decision. We'll go to 195 pounds. Mike Torgerson is going to step into the lineup for Grand Forks Central at 195. He'll go up against Rylan Reed of Fargo Davies at 195. And this match will be brought to you commercial-free on KNOX by our proud sports sponsors, Branson Bank and Trust, Lake Region State College, Atlas Auto, New Vision Truck Accessories, and Apple Green Construction. Rylan Reed comes into the matchup ranked number 2 in the 195-pound weight class, so Davies will be heavily favored against a substitute entered for Grand Forks Central in the form of Mike Torgerson at 195. Torgerson going after a single leg shot. Good counter by Rylan Reed. He spins to grab control, and the takedown is worked for Rylan Reed of Fargo Davies. And now Reed goes to work on the head and arms from the top position. A fall here, and that does it for Grand Forks Central this afternoon. They trail by 9. They can give up no more than a regular decision in this matchup to have a chance to tie. A win by major decision or more ends up winning the duel for Fargo Davies. Still 2-0 as Rylan Reed tried to surrender an escape to Mike Torgerson, and Torgerson didn't break away long enough to be awarded a point. Reed went right after a double leg, but the official says no loss of control. Now Reed pinning an arm 90 degrees across the back. That usually leads to a thread and the needle combination. If he's looking for it, he's going to turn into a bar arm, another chicken wing, and a chicken wing bar arm turn again. The 4th of the day for Fargo Davies out of the chicken wing bar. And Rylan Reed looking for a fall as Torgerson bridges, scissoring the hips to try to stay off of his back, but Rylan Reed sagging out. Plenty of control of the technique with 40 seconds left to go. Reed into an out sit now, cranking on that left shoulder, trying to bring it to the mat. Torgerson looking away from the combination. Reed will bail it out, gets 3 points of near fall, leads by a score of 5-0. Boy, if you're up against an eagle and you're from bottom position, the chicken wing bar arm is something to be aware of. Obviously, Tegan Weber has brought that to his team, and Fargo Davies has been exemplary in the way that they've worked that combination. Reed's going back after it again. He's got a chicken wing on the left-hand side. Torgerson broken down on his base, lengthened out. Now a half Nelson by Reed. Torgerson will peel that off. We're into the final 5 seconds of the opening period. Torgerson will get back to his base. Reed goes to work on a front headlock, no loss of control, and that'll be the end of the first period with Ryland Reed on top 5-0. Torgerson's choice, he will defer until the third, and Ryland Reed will work from bottom. Grand Forks Central versus Fargo Davies wrestling today on Magnitude Sports in Fargo and on News Radio 1310. KNOX AM Grand Forks, 107.9 FM. A quick sit-out turn, and Ryland Reed will work a reversal. Sit-out turn, got Torgerson a little high. He's able to go from 1 to 2. He had the escape, but stayed with it. Good piece of wrestling by Ryland Reed, and he works the reversal to make it 7-0 in favor of Reed at 195 pounds. Again, Ryland Reed is ranked second for Fargo Davies in the Eastern Dakota Conference. Davies has the top-ranked 220-pound wrestler at 220 in the form of Truman Weremeyer, and then Dylan Carlquist is the third-ranked heavyweight. So Davies will be favored from here on out. And again, anything more than a regular decision ends the duel effectively on the scoreboard. We'd finish the matches, obviously. Here's a turn by Ryland Reed out of a half Nelson. He works reverse half, cranks up on Torgerson. Torgerson in trouble in the middle of the mat. Reed goes to work, lengthening out the right arm. Tries to use his legs to work on the left arm, forcing the shoulders down. Torgerson's in all kinds of trouble. An A for effort from Torgerson to keep the hips scissored and try to stay off the shoulders here. But Ryland Reed, chest to chest, middle of the mat. The official looking for the fall. There it is. Time of the fall will be at 3 minutes and 11 seconds for Ryland Reed, and that's going to give the duel to Fargo Davies as Ryland Reed will pick up the victory. That'll push Fargo Davies' lead to 39-24. And with a 15-point lead in the duel, Fargo Davies claims victory. Only 12 points left to be had in the duel. Davies will be favored from here on out in either regard. As we go to 220, Justin Kerr for Grand Forks Central goes on the mat to face Truman Weremeyer of Fargo Davies. Truman Weremeyer is the #1 ranked wrestler in Eastern Dakota Conference Wrestling at 220 pounds. And this match will be brought to you commercial-free by Spray Advantage. Also brought to you by Lake Region State College in Devils Lake, by RBB Electric, and also brought to you by East Grand Forks Dairy Queen and Phil Thompson and Associates on KNOX. Weremeyer stepping away from a front headlock combination thrown in by Justin Kerr. Kerr and Weremeyer lock up over and under in the middle of the mat. Sometimes you see the big guys go at it in the upper body right away. Weremeyer trying to step away. Kerr with a couple of deep. He goes head and arm, and Weremeyer is able to turn that with a throw of his own. He went head and arm in an aggressive back step. He caught Truman, or actually Justin Kerr's momentum going the wrong direction. Weremeyer with the throw will make it 2-0. Weremeyer wants to get back to the feet. He'll surrender the escape, the 2-for-1 trade. Weremeyer's lead is won by a score of 2-1. Justin Kerr holds his ground in the middle of the mat. Weremeyer down to a knee, stayed there, tried to get an opening. Kerr meets him, grabs an arm, and they come back to the feet once again. Weremeyer moving in. We have only Eastern Dakota Conference rankings this year, normally statewide rankings, but due to coronavirus and the lack of Class A teams wrestling tournaments, they stay EDC rankings only. And they're going to see no wrestling in the East region this year or the West region. The state wrestling tournament has changed its format. They're just going to fill up the brackets. They're going to work on 12 mats to keep things moving at the state tournament. They're going to simply do the cross-regional matchups. 1 out of the East versus 8 out of the West. Regional rankings are going to be a big part of that. So a lot of changes being made to preserve state tournaments, and that means no East region tournament for either of these teams. From what we understand, there will be state duels, and we'll talk more about the implications of this one in the standings as the wrestlers move off the mat, and Justin Kerr will be called for stalling. So a stalling caution against Justin Kerr. And we'll work back to the middle for a restart with down to 20 seconds left to go in the opening period. Fargo Davies will pick up this victory today in dual competition. Shot attempt by Weremeyer to an outside single. Up to the feet, Kerr trying to counter with a whizzer. Weremeyer caught him on the way off the mat, back down. Kerr trying to turn back to his base. They'll move off the mat before any further scoring can be had. Fargo Davies into the day with a 5-1 record in the East region. They trail Valley City by a match and a half. They're going to go to 6-1. That'll close the gap on Valley City to a half a match out of this one. Grand Forks Central at 3-3, and a loss here today will likely eliminate them from being able to make the state dual competition. As Weremeyer goes to work from top, keeps Justin Kerr down, and that'll be the end of the opening period with Weremeyer 2 takedowns to take a 4-1 lead going into the second, and Weremeyer will choose bottom to go into the second period. For those of you that are Davies wrestling fans, we'll take a look at what their schedule has for the remainder of their run as far as conference matches are concerned. They'll have one against West Fargo Cheyenne, a clasping call coming up here against Torgerson. So they're going to award a point on an escape for Truman Weremeyer and another on a clasping call against Torgerson. That'll make it 6-1 in favor of Fargo Davies Truman Weremeyer. The clasping call with the arms continuing to be clasped when the wrestlers came down out of the stand-up. You see that penalty usually about once a duel, and now a single leg shot for Truman Weremeyer. He'll bring Justin Kerr down on the left side of the mat, and it's now 8-1 in favor of Weremeyer and Fargo Davies in this 220-pound bout. They have one more left in the EDC with Cheyenne, another with, I believe, Devil's Lake. And that will be it as far as their EDC run for Fargo Davies. Here's a turn by Weremeyer out of a half Nelson. He's got Kerr in some trouble in front of the Fargo Davies bench on the left. Kerr turned out of a half Nelson bar arm. A long look by the official for the fall. There it is. So a fall for Justin, rather not for Kerr, but rather for Weremeyer. Weremeyer will work a fall. The time of the fall will be at, I believe, 3 minutes and 11 seconds of the period. Truman Weremeyer will pick up 6 more points from Fargo Davies, and it's now 45-24. Fargo Davies with a 21-point lead as we go to the big guys today. The heavyweights, Daniel Suda onto the mat, a sophomore for Grand Forks Central. Dylan Carlquist, a sophomore for Fargo Davies, and again, coming into the day, Dylan Carlquist is ranked 3rd in the Eastern Dakota Conference at heavyweight. This will be the final bout of the day. We'll have one final break to wrap things up this afternoon, and then we'll come back with just a quick recap and send you back into regular programming. Central does have another duel coming up today against Fargo North, but we'll be on our way to East Grand Forks Civic Center Arena following the conclusion of this for Grand Forks Central and East Grand Forks in high school hockey this afternoon. Dylan Carlquist, little try at perhaps a Russian tie or an arm drag. And stepping away from that was Daniel Suda. Suda backing up towards the Grand Forks Central bench, or rather the Fargo Davies bench. Carlquist stays on an arm. Tough to tell what Carlquist is looking for here. Normally the heavyweights will give you at least one run through the upper body throws before they go to work on the legs, at least at the high school level. Another pop onto the neck by Daniel Suda. And Carlquist and Suda just kind of matching. Here's a great arm drag. We've seen him going for the arm drag. Nice arm drag technique by Dylan Carlquist. He works it into a single leg takedown, but we saw Carlquist try the arm drag once before, and it's a great technique by a heavyweight wrestler, and Carlquist has the takedown. Carlquist going immediately to work on a crossface. Dylan Carlquist of Fargo Davies leading Daniel Suda of Grand Forks Central by a score of 2-0. Carlquist underneath the body on an arm. Just kind of working one-on-one, now two-on-one, turns that arm again. Not clean technique here. He's just got the arm barred up underneath the body, and it's more of a lunge. You can do that if you're a big guy. Don't see that a lot down the smaller weights, but this is Carlquist. He's maybe not as comfortable from top here as you would think. He's just tried a couple of, I guess, less clean techniques from top to try to get a turn on Suda. May feel like he's a little bit over, or rather undermatched. Suda not quite putting up the fight that Carlquist was looking for, so he may try something just a little bit less clean from top before really going to work. He's got a 2-0 lead here. Goes to work on that arm again. Again, just tried to turn it over with some hip power. Now on a half Nelson into a power half, jumps across the body. He's got Suda defensive from bottom. And Dylan Carlquist for Fargo Davies continues to work towards the head and arm. Final 5 seconds will run off in the opening period. And it'll be a 2-0 lead for Dylan Carlquist going into the second. The choice goes to Suda. He will defer his choice to the third. And Dylan Carlquist wants to work from bottom. So again, the other standings in the Eastern Dakota Conference right now, no one really gets into the duels, at least as of yet, although Valley City's probably secured their spot at 7-0. Davies now 6-1 as Carlquist tries an escape on a stand-up and is brought back to the mat by Suda. West Fargo, Cheyenne, each 4-1. Devils Lake is 3-1. So that matchup that Davies has left with Devils Lake will be a key one. Carlquist works a stand-up for an escape. But right now, the top 5 are probably the teams in contention. And Valley City 7-0. They are said to have a very powerful team this year. And looking through the individual rankings, you can see why they're ranked number 2 in Class A as a team behind Bismarck High. A number of top-ranked wrestlers, top 2, top 3 in the EDC coming into today's action. Carlquist trying a duck under on Suda. Suda stepping away from it. Carlquist has worked that arm drag a couple of times, once for a takedown. We'll see if he goes back to it. Once you've done it once, can be tough to do again, but he's got the 2-on-1 on it. Sometimes you go opposite of it. Well, Suda's not going to wait. He's going to go after an outside single leg shot. Carlquist able to step out of that. And they meet back in the middle of the mat with a minute to go now in period number 2. Final bout of the day for Central and Davies. Grand Forks Central has a non-conference bout left with Fargo North. So the matchup that Grand Forks Central will have with Fargo North out of this triangular will be a non-conference bout. Another outside arm drag, and again a takedown for Dylan Carlquist. Boy, it's fun to see the big guys do something with a lot of finesse up top, and they did. As we've seen, Dylan Carlquist work that arm drag a couple of times in the match for takedowns. Earlier this year, Grand Forks Central got the win over Fargo North in the conference bout, 45-29. That's why the next one will be non-conference. But the team's doing what they can to fill out their match allotments before they get to the postseason without having to travel a lot. So you're seeing a lot of teams wrestle each other twice. Once as a conference duel, once as a non-conference duel. Carlquist up on the head and arm on Daniel Suda. Time will run out in the second period, and it's Carlquist 5-0. Suda taking a look to his bench for the choice, and Daniel Suda will choose the neutral position. So Suda wants to work from the feet to start the third period of wrestling. 5-0. Dylan Carlquist, one of the top-ranked wrestlers in EDC wrestling at heavyweight, leading Daniel Suda. Hasn't been a bad match for Daniel Suda. He surrendered a couple of takedowns and an escape, both takedowns out of the arm drag into a single. But Carlquist has that technique mesmerized on Daniel Suda. He's caught him deep on that arm drag a couple of times. It's more of a step, really, than it is an arm drag, but it's the step that can really fool an opposing wrestler when you work that arm drag correctly. Suda, Carlquist matched up in the middle of the mat. The official says, hey, let's get this thing back under control. They're going to reset with 1:22 left to go. It's been a lot of arm fighting in this first half minute of the third period. A little bit of physicality on the arms. Suda moving in on Carlquist as they reset from the feet. Carlquist backing up. Suda trying to work an underhook. And Carlquist just continues to work on the arms. And you can see those two are very, very aware of where Dylan Carlquist's right arm is. He's out on the right of Daniel Suda, but he's trying to work that arm drag again. He's done it successfully twice. Why not? Keep going until somebody stops it. Suda matching up head and arm again. Carlquist backing up. Seems like both wrestlers have lost a little bit of pop here. The official taking a good long look at it from behind. Carlquist has backed up a couple of times here, maybe in danger of a caution for stalling at this point. No whistle as of yet, but Suda continues to move in on Carlquist, and Carlquist taking several steps back at this point with 30 seconds left to go. Suda spins back to the middle of the mat. Now Carlquist initiates a little bit of work, but just kind of shoves Suda off on the upper body. Both wrestlers exchanging locks on the wrist. Down to 15 seconds left of the third. Fargo Davies looking to finish things off with a win here at the heavyweight bout and take a 24-point win over Grand Forks Central. They lead by 21 right now. A quick head and arm by Suda. Carlquist ducked underneath it for a counter takedown. That'll make it 7-0. And Dylan Carlquist at heavyweight will finish things off for us today, as Carlquist gets the win at 285, a 7-0 decision, and Fargo Davies will win our duel today by a final score of 48-24. 48-24 on our Hugo's Low scoreboard. That is our final this afternoon. And Grand Forks Central and Fargo Davies meet here today with Fargo Davies getting the victory. We're going to take a pause, and we will come back with just a brief wrap-up of what took place here today, and then we'll be on the road once again as we make our way over to East Grand Forks Civic Center Arena for hockey this afternoon on KNOX. We'll come back to recap this one on a quick post-game report brought to you by Spray Advantage, and a wrap-up next here on Magnitude Sports in Fargo and KNOX in Grand Forks.
Van Dam Chiropractic is dedicated to helping you achieve your health goals and improving your quality of life. Dr. Van Dam provides the most comprehensive chiropractic and acupuncture care. Whether you're recovering from a sports injury, work-related injury, car accident, or just getting relief from chronic pain, Dr. Scott Van Dam will get you back on the road to good health. They look forward to serving you at Van Dam Chiropractic. Call them at 532-5320 or visit them online at vandamchiropractic.com. Looking for a new home? Make home happen by getting pre-qualified for free with Sean Carlson at Town & Country Credit Union. He'll help you find the best mortgage options for you and keep the process running smoothly from beginning to end. With a 97% satisfaction rate, awesome rewards, low fees, and great rates, it's clear why members love Town & Country Credit Union. Stop in or visit townandcountry.org to find out how you can become a Town & Country member today. Insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
Hi, it's Dr. Tiffany Johnson from Healing Touch Chiropractic in West Fargo.
What impact I want to make, how my office is different, how my niche is different. It is all about giving people hope and helping them believe that their bodies were made to heal.
Let me show you how your life can change through chiropractic at Healing Touch Chiropractic.
Afternoon here on KNOX and on Magnitude Sports. For those of you in Fargo, the remainder of the Triangular will be on Magnitude Sports for the remainder of the day. Those of you on KNOX, we're going to depart as the next one for Central's a non-conference matchup, and we're going to make our way back to Civic Center Arena in East Grand Forks today, where we'll have some high school hockey between Grand Forks Central and East Grand Forks today. But for those of you in Fargo, you can catch the rest of the duel this afternoon on Magnitude Sports, so make sure you catch up with that if you are looking into what we have going on there. Today, the final score is 48-24. Grand Forks Central beaten by Fargo Davies. The win for Fargo Davies, as we mentioned, will move their record in the Eastern Dakota Conference to 6-1. They'll be a half of a duel out of first place, with Valley City leading the lead coming into the day. And Grand Forks Central is going to drop to 3-4. This one will likely take Grand Forks Central out of contention for a spot in state dual competition this year. Some good matches, though, for Grand Forks Central. Let's review. We had a toss-up right away at 106 pounds with Kane Matheson, who was a ranked wrestler, but he got a good chase from Anton Perales, just a 7th grader for Central. Matheson wins it by a score of 3-2. On to 113, Abdi Noor for Fargo Davies, a fall of 22 seconds over Declan Shepard, and then another fall for Fargo Davies at 120 as they move up Wyatt Kozadowski. He gets a fall at 2 minutes and 50 seconds over Gabe Tandy. So Fargo Davies started off with a 15-0 lead. Tough to come back from that. Central got on the comeback trail. Mason Williams at 126 pounds, a 5-0 decision over Liam Wicklow. And then a good match today for Noah Morkby, who wrestled some pretty solid counters and gets a fall at 5 minutes and 17 seconds. Over his opponent today, which was Skylar Oster, moving up from 26 to 32. Central wins a couple back-to-back. They cut it to 6 at 15-9. At 138 pounds, Sawyer Free, a 5-minute and 26-second fall over Hayden Mack, pushed the lead for Davies back to 21-9. At 145, Jaden Hakey stepping into the lineup as a reserve today. Pretty nice piece of reserve wrestling. He gets a fall over David Arop at 337. Central cut the gap to 21-15. At 152, Ryan Barth, the third-ranked wrestler, goes up against Mike Erickson, who moves down from 60 to 52. Erickson second-ranked at 160. Ryan Barth third-ranked at 152. Barth gets the win by fall at 1:43, push the lead back to 27-15, but Braden Williams, top-ranked wrestler at 52, moves up to 16. He gets a fall over Kenny Hansen at 32 seconds, back to a 6-point bout at 27-21. At 170 today, Austin Bicker moves down in the lineup from 182 and goes up against Landon Alex, and Landon Alex gets the fall at 1:51.
We're ready
That gave
for the
Fargo
next
Davies a
duel.
big lift. Put them up by 12 at
Central Knights and the
33-21.
Spartans.
Still some daylight, though, and really the match of the day for Central, wrestled by Sincere
106.
Haskins, who gives up a lot of weight to move up to 182 and took on Mohamed Al-Janabi. Ends up getting a 6-0 decision, but Sincere Haskins throws the shutout. And on top of it, just wrestled a really sound match. He's going to be our wrestler of the match today for Grand Forks Central, brought to you by PS Garage Doors. A 6-0 win for Sincere Haskins. Cut it to 9 at 33-24. But Fargo Davies sweeps the remainder of the bouts today. At 195, Rylan Reed a fall at 3 minutes and 11 seconds over his opponent, Mike Torgerson, made it 39-24 and won the duel. And then Truman Weremeyer, top ranked at 220, a fall at 3:11 over Justin Kerr, made it 45-24. The score is capped with Dylan Carlquist, third-ranked wrestler at heavyweight, with a 7-0 win today at heavyweight over Daniel Suda. 48-24 is your final score. Our PS Garage Doors wrestler of the match today is Sincere Haskins, with that 6-0 win, moving up from 70 to 82 to knock off Mohamed Al-Janabi at 182. He'll get the award, brought to you by PS Garage Doors. 772-DOOR. That's 772-DOOR for PS Garage Doors in Devils Lake and Grand Forks. And we are on the road. We'll see you next at East Grand Forks Civic Center Arena for the Green Wave and Grand Forks Central and High School
Winner
Hockey today.
by
We're back
fall,
here tonight at the Spartan
37
Dome for
seconds,
Grand Forks Central
Connor
boys basketball
Johnson.
against Fargo North. That is a scheduled change that took place, and we'll see that one coming up tonight with a 7:15 tip-off. And again, for those of you on Magnitude Sports, as you are doing right now, you can catch the remainder of Fargo North and Grand Forks Central, and that'll be followed by Fargo North and Fargo Davies this afternoon. Thank you very much for joining us for high school wrestling on KNOX. We will join Real Estate Today, already in progress. We'll join you later on from East Grand Forks Civic Center Arena. And again, don't forget, we have playoff football coming up on KNOX. That basketball matchup for Central and Fargo Davies will be on Rock 95, 1590 AM, 95.7 FM tonight. So long, everybody.
Shepherd. At 120, Fargo North reports first. Open. Gabe Tandy for the Knights. Awarded by forfeit. 126, Grand Forks Central will report first. Mason Williams. Gusman for the Spartans. Williams and Mon. Two-point takedown, Mon. One-point escape, Williams.
Sorry, are you back or someone else down here? Basketball. Is that a 7?
Two-point takedown, Williams. One minute in the period. Two-point air fall, two-point reversal.
Yeah, no, that's what they call it. I saw one of their hockey matches. They did an all right job.
Yeah, I just, when I saw that, you know, the schedule change didn't take place from the on East Grand Forks and Red Rocky.
Yeah.
But if it works for us, we haven't been able to do a simple basketball game except for Red River
Position. 4-4 after 1.
Are all three of these yours?
Yeah, monitor, camera, laptop, so those are mine.
Yeah, I think so. I think I can get the mix.
Yeah, no, I try and do that for everybody, for all the stations. So, yeah, Chase Miller, a couple of years ago, he's like, if you put our logo on there, we'll do it for you. It's like, okay, every station knows it up with their logo. So, yeah.
Point takedown Bond.
Next two, too. I'm not going to sit here and change it again next. All right, that sounds good. Sounds good.
1 minute in the period. 1 minute.
Yeah, you too. See you around.
31 seconds. One in the lead, 6-4 after 2. One minute remains in the match. 1 minute. Seconds, 30 seconds. Two-point near fall one. decision. Gus on. Good job, fellas. 132. Fargo will report first. Denny Manataqua for the Knights. Noah Morkby. Point takedown, Manataqua. Winner by fall in 30 seconds, Danny Manataqua. .138 tonight. Hayden Mack for the Knights. For the Spartans. In the period, 1 minute. Leads 2-0. Takedown, Mac. 30 seconds. Two. Mac leads 4-0 after two. Jaden Hakey, Chase Hansen. Hakey and Hansen. 145. Two-point takedown, Hansen.
I'm gonna start making TikToks after high school. Start going like this. I gotta learn the ball. Yeah, I gotta do this. I'm gonna start doing more. I can't do this one, I know, because I'm gonna get bullied next school, but .30 seconds in the period, 30 seconds.
Hansen in the lead, 2-0. Defers. Takes the up position. Two-point reversal, Hansen. One-point escape, Keiki. Out of bounds. One minute in the period, 1 minute. Two-point takedown, Hansen. 30 seconds in the period, 30. End of 2, 6-1, Hansen in the lead. Minute in the match, 1 minute. seconds, 30 seconds. Okay, we have 14 seconds remaining in the match. Winner by 7-1 decision, Chase Hansen. 152 Central, Braden Williams. Josh Worrell for the Spartans. Josh Worrell. Rebounds. Minute 7.
Captain Bonzo!
2-point takedown, Williams, under 30 seconds. Williams. First. Arrow chooses neutral. Point takedown, Williams. One minute in the period, 1 minute. Thirty seconds, 30 seconds. After 2, Williams is leading 4-0. Position period. Point takes down Williams. One minute in the match, 1 minute. Three-point near fall for Williams. Winner by major decision, 9-0. Braden Williams. North reports. William Ward for the Spartans. Mike Erickson for the Knights. Erickson and Ward. 1 minute. 2-point takedown, Ward. Out of bounds. 2 point. Near fall, Ward. Thirty seconds in the period. 30. Bounds. 12 seconds. Minute 20 in the period. Unsportsmanlike. A minute 2 remains in the period. Reversal, Ward. Reversal, 3-point near fall. 353. William Ward, 353. Austin Micker for the Knights. And for North. North reports first. 182. North.
Hey, CJ, Isaiah. I know I thought I was going to have to rest him.
195. Torgerson wins on Horford. 220. North. North reports. No one? No one. Got 285, Daniel Suda for the Knights. Michael Jones for the Spartans. One minute in the period. 1 minute. Seconds. 30. End of 1-0-0. 2-point takedown, Jones. One-point escape. One minute. 30 seconds.
So if I beat him, do I take your versus back?
Point takedown, Jones. Jones in the lead, 4-1. Suda chooses down to begin the final period. Escape, Suda. We have a minute and 23 remaining in the match. One minute in the match. 1 minute. Forty-two seconds in the match. Seconds. Two-point takedown, Jones. Decision, Michael Jones. Another round of applause for our competitors in this duel. Nice job, fellas, both groups. And it's time for another brief break between matches. Next competition will be the Eagles and the Spartans.
Whether you are looking to refinance your current mortgage and save or purchase a new home, Sean Carlson with Town & Country Credit Union can help. With over 15 years of mortgage experience, he is an expert on VA, FHA, USDA, first-time home buyer, and conventional home loans and can help determine the best loan product to fit your needs. His borrowers agree, saying, Sean was a pleasure to work with and made the entire mortgage process easy. I highly recommend him. Ready to check out how Sean and Town & Country Credit Union can help make your financial life easy? Stop by one of our 6 convenient Fargo, West Fargo locations or visit townandcountry.org today. From free checking accounts to auto loans to commercial and ag loans and, of course, home loans, Town & Country Credit Union has the low loan rates, flexible terms, low fees, and personal service you deserve. See for yourself how much you might save. Apply online today at townandcountry.org. Insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Lender. Van Dam Chiropractic is dedicated to helping you achieve your health goals and improving your quality of life. Dr. Van Dam provides the most comprehensive chiropractic and acupuncture care. Whether you're recovering from a sports injury, work-related injury, car accident, or just getting relief from chronic pain, Dr. Scott Van Dam will get you back on the road to good health. They look forward to serving you at Van Dam Chiropractic. Call them at 532-5320 or visit them online at vandamchiropractic.com.
Hi, it's Dr. Tiffany Johnson from Healing Touch Chiropractic in West Fargo.
What impact I want to make, how my office is different, how my niche is different. It is all about giving people hope and helping them believe that their bodies were made to heal.
Let me show you how your life can change through chiropractic at Healing Touch Chiropractic.
takedown Johnson. Winner by fall, 119, Connor Johnson. Good job. 113, Davies. Kozadowski, Wyatt Kozadowski. Spartans. Open. 120, North. Open. 126. Liam Wicklow for the Eagles. Spartans. The Spartans got Swan. Wicklow and Mon. Two-point takedown, Mon. Inbounds, 3-point air fall on. 6 seconds remain. I need to remind, we have some people who are letting your guard down with regard to masks. Fargo Schools requires that if you're in an indoor event in our schools, you need to have a mask on. Please conform. Everybody wants to continue with our wrestling season. Escape on. 2-point takedown, Mon. One minute. Winner by fall. 3-11. Gus Mon. Good job. North reports first at 1:32. Wally Ketterall. Skylar Oster for the Eagles. Oster and Ketterall. Takedown, Ketterall. takedown, Ketterall. Winner by fall in 2:30, Wally Ketterall. 138. Davies reports first. Sawyer Free for the Eagles. Henry Mon for the Spartans. Takedown, Free. One minute. Three-point near fall, Free. Sawyer Free in the lead, 5-0 after one. Birds, neutral. Takedown for Free. Three-point near fall, Free. A minute 4 remains in period 2. Fall, 324. Sawyer, Free, 324. 145. North reports first. David Everett for the Eagles. Bones. Two-point takedown, Hansen. Winner by fall in the minute four, Chase Hansen. .152, Fargo Davies. Ryan Barth. Josh Worrell for the Spartans. Two-point takedown, Worrell. Three-point near fall, Worrell. Thirty seconds, 30. Reversal, Worrell. Deal made. 1 minute in the period, 1 minute. Thirty seconds, 30. Two-point takedown whirl. Three-point near fall whirl. One minute.
Clock run.
Thirty seconds. 1 point escape. Two-point takedown, winner by tech fall, 16-1. Josh Worrell. Good job. North reports at 160. Billy Ward. Hardy Bernie for the Eagles. Two-point takedown, Ward. Point escape, Bernie. One minute. Two-point takedown, Ward. Bernie. Ten seconds. Point takedown for Ward. End to one. Billy Ward leads 8-2. Point takedown, Ward. Winner by fall, 2-19, Billy Ward. Davies reports. Landon Alex for the Eagles. Forfeit. 182 north. Open. Winner at 182, Ahmed Noor. $195. Ryland Reed. Fargo North. $220. $285. Take down Carl Quist. By fall, 59 seconds. Dylan Carlquist. Another round of applause for our wrestlers today. Everyone did a fine job today. We appreciate their efforts as well as their coaches. We appreciate that you're here to watch and lend your support. Please keep in mind that exit protocols by FTS require that you continue to wear your masks until you're out of the building.
The proceeding has been a presentation of the Magnitude Sports Media Network. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, subscribe. subscribe to our YouTube channel. And to order a DVD copy of this broadcast, simply visit msportsnet.com/DVD.